Imagine turning a tiny overlooked space into a vibrant green oasis. It's possible. Welcome to Small Space Big Impact Design Tips for Tiny Gardens. In the realm of gardening, bigger isn't always better. There's a certain magic that comes with tiny gardens, an enchantment that springs from their lush foliage and bright blooms. Picture a small forgotten balcony. Over time, with a little creativity and a lot of love, it transforms into a breathtaking garden brimming with life and color. This is the magic of tiny gardens. But what is a tiny garden, you may ask? It's a miniature paradise, a small sanctuary of green in a world that's often too gray. It's a testament to the power of imagination and the resilience of nature, thriving in spaces you wouldn't expect. A tiny garden could be a quaint balcony, adorned with hanging planters, a small patio with potted shrubs, or even a windowsill boasting a vibrant array of succulents. Yes, the process of creating a tiny garden can be a captivating journey, one that begins with an empty, forgotten space and culminates in a vibrant, living tapestry of plants. And the transformation isn't just physical. It's a transformation of the spirit too, as every seed planted, every flower bloomed, adds a touch of serenity and joy to your life. The magic of tiny gardens is not just in their beauty, but also in their ability to inspire. They remind us that no space is too small to hold potential, that with a little creativity and care, any space can become a source of joy and inspiration. Now you're probably wondering, how can you create a similar transformation? How can you take a small, overlooked space and turn it into a vibrant garden? Well, the answer lies not just in the plants you choose or the design you envision, but in the love and care you pour into every square inch of your garden. So, let's dive into the secrets of small garden design. Let's unravel the magic of tiny gardens together. When space is limited, the solution is simple. Go vertical. That's right, we're talking about vertical gardening, a game-changing concept that can transform even the tiniest of spaces into a lush, green oasis. Vertical gardening is a clever gardening strategy that involves growing plants upwards on a vertically inclined surface. This could be a wall, a fence, or even a custom-made structure. The beauty of vertical gardening is that it allows for a high density of plants within a small footprint, making it perfect for those who are short on space but big on green ambitions. There's a myriad of ways to implement vertical gardening. You could use wall-mounted planters, hanging baskets, or even repurpose everyday items like ladders or pallets into vertical plant stands. The only limit is your creativity. But vertical gardening is not just about maximizing space. Did you know that it also helps to improve air quality? That's right, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, making your small space not only more beautiful, but healthier too. Let's not forget about the visual impact. A vertical garden can be an eye-catching feature that adds a touch of nature to an otherwise urban environment. Picture a wall of cascading greenery, a curtain of trailing vines, or a tower of blooming flowers. It's like having a living piece of art right in your own backyard. Vertical gardening can also be a practical solution. For instance, growing herbs and vegetables vertically can save you a trip to the supermarket. Imagine plucking fresh basil or cherry tomatoes right from your vertical garden. It's fresh, organic, and right at your fingertips. And lastly, let's talk about the environmental benefits. Vertical gardening can help to reduce the urban heat island effect, a phenomenon where urban areas are significantly warmer than their rural surroundings due to human activities. By absorbing sunlight, plants can help to cool down your space, making it more comfortable while reducing your reliance on air conditioning. Vertical gardening is just one way to make a big impact in a small space, but there's more to explore. So, let's continue this journey of small space gardening and discover more ingenious ways to create your own garden oasis. In a tiny garden, every element should serve a dual purpose: practical and aesthetic. As we delve into the world of creative containers and modular furniture, we uncover the endless possibilities they offer for tiny gardens. Containers, for instance, are more than just plant pots. They are the lifeblood of a small garden, giving you the flexibility to move your plants around as the seasons change, or even as your mood dictates. From vintage buckets and colorful crates to hanging baskets and repurposed items, you can find or create containers that express your personal style while housing your plants. Consider also the magic of modular furniture. Designed to be flexible and space-saving, modular furniture can be rearranged, stacked, and customized to fit your garden's needs. Picture a stackable plant stand that doubles as a side table, or a bench that opens up to reveal storage for your gardening tools. Such pieces are not only functional but also add character to your tiny garden. And let us not forget about vertical space. Wall-mounted planters and shelves can turn a blank wall into a lush green canvas. A trellis with climbing plants, a vertical pallet garden, or even a series of hanging pots can create a sense of height and depth, making your garden appear larger than it is. Moreover, containers and modular furniture allow you to experiment with different garden layouts without making permanent changes. You can try different plant combinations, swap out seasonal blooms, or even change your garden theme entirely, all with minimal effort and cost. Lastly, the choice of materials for your containers and furniture can greatly influence the mood of your garden. Weathered wood can evoke a rustic charm, while sleek metal or glass can give a modern, minimalist feel. It's all about finding what resonates with you. In the realm of tiny gardens, the only limit is your imagination. With creative containers and modular furniture, you can create a garden that is not only beautiful but also uniquely yours. Remember, creativity is key when working with small spaces. A tiny garden doesn't mean limited plant options, it's all about making smart choices. Selection of plants is crucial when it comes to small gardens. The first factor to consider is the size of the plant. Plants that grow tall or spread wide might not be the best fit for a tiny garden. Instead, opt for dwarf varieties or plants that grow vertically. These plants not only save space but also add an element of height to your garden. Another important factor is the plant's light requirements. Some plants thrive in the shade, while others need several hours of direct sunlight each day. Understand the sun's path in your garden, and choose plants accordingly. For instance, if your garden receives a lot of afternoon sun, select plants that can withstand those harsh rays. Conversely, if your garden is shaded most of the day, choose shade-loving plants. Now let's talk about maximizing sunlight. In a tiny garden, every ray of sunshine is precious. One tip is to use reflective materials. Shiny objects like mirrors or white walls can bounce sunlight into shadowy corners. Another trick is to position your plants strategically. Place taller plants at the back and smaller ones at the front so they don't block each other's light. Don't forget about the power of containers. They not only save space but also give you the flexibility to move plants around, chasing the sun or the shade as needed. And if sunlight is really scarce, don't despair. There are plenty of beautiful shade-tolerant plants out there like ferns and hostas. And lastly, remember that even though you're working with a small space, you can still create a diverse and vibrant garden by choosing a variety of plants with different colors, textures, and blooming seasons. This way, there's always something interesting happening in your garden. With the right plants and proper sunlight, even the smallest space can bloom beautifully. Now, the final and most important tip for creating a tiny garden with a big impact: make it personal. There's a magic that happens when a garden becomes an extension of the gardener's soul, a verdant expression of their unique personality and style. After all, the most enchanting gardens are those that tell a story, where every plant, every piece of furniture, every design element holds a special significance. Consider your garden as a blank canvas, waiting to be painted with the colors of your imagination. Perhaps you have a fondness for wildflowers, their untamed beauty reminding you of childhood summers spent exploring the countryside. Or maybe you're drawn to the graceful elegance of Japanese maples, their fiery leaves a symbol of resilience and transformation. Why not create a themed garden that reflects your passions or interests? A Zen garden for the mindfulness practitioner, a butterfly garden for the nature lover, or an edible garden for the culinary enthusiast. There's no limit to what you can achieve when you let your creativity run wild. Don't forget the power of personal artifacts. An heirloom garden gnome, a hand-painted pot, a vintage bird feeder — these are the elements that add character and charm to your garden, that transform it from a collection of plants into a living, breathing work of art. And then there are the intangible touches, the care with which you tend to each plant, the joy that radiates from every blossom, the peace that descends when you step into your garden oasis. These are the things that make a garden truly personal, that turn it into a sanctuary, a refuge, a place of solace and delight. So as you embark on your gardening journey, remember this: there's no right or wrong way to create a garden. The only thing that matters is that it speaks to you, that it mirrors your spirit, your dreams, your essence. Your tiny garden is a reflection of you. With these tips, you can transform any small space into a beautiful personal garden oasis.